guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will going to teach you how to make an expense tracker in the Python with the help of Tkinter. For that we have imported the basic module as for the database as SQLite 3 for Tkinter from all of the part from Tkinter import asterisk, then Tkinter TTK module, then message box as MB, then simple dialog as SD, and then we have taken its the matplot parts for the graph. Okay, so if you want to see how this was UI was looking, this was how it was looking, and then before that we will going to see how we have created the SQL database right here. Okay, for that we have used the SQLite to connect to our database, which we will going to create, which will going to run it on creation, and then the cursor as the connector dot cursor, and then cursor will going to execute the command as create table if not exist expenses, and it's define the how it's will going to work, like id will be then integer primary key and auto increment of them, and then the amount will be in the real not null, category will be text, and description will be also text, and the date as also text. Okay, then we have committed it, or then we go to our next part, which is the functions, how we have run that code in our part as this. Okay, so that we get to know how this app is actually worked. For the displaying record, we have taken the tree.delete into by tree.getChildren, and then we have established a for loop by I comma row in enumerate bracket cursor dot execute by writing an SQL command as select asterisk from expenses, which will going to fetch all of the expenses, and then we have tagged them in the even as or odd. Okay, and then we have inserted them with the its value and its tags, and update the pie charts, which you will going to see at below how we have defined that function by the matplot we have discussed before. Okay, for that we have go to our clear fields. It will going to clear the entry parts of the field as the amount, category, set date, setted, description of it, and then we will going to launch a tree selection remove function, and with the bracket selection close brackets and then 0, or else it will going to pass it as nothing. Okay, then for the adding the new records, like we have want to add the new, okay, like expense we have made on this or that date, so we have defined the some features like which is the required, like amount, category and date. Descriptions are basically not required, so we have not given it so much value. So for that we have defined it in a so error, like required fields amount, category and dates are required, and return it at the end. If we have doesn't give it, then it will not show it, else it will going to write here so it. Okay, in the terminal, and then we have given it an command. If this above condition doesn't fulfill, then it will going to insert that info into expense database of amount, category and with the values that were given, and it will going to get through the or GUI. Okay, and it will going to commit the command, and then it will going to clear the fields and display the record. Okay, and then it will go into success message, okay, of it. And then we go to how this remove record will work. First of all, it will go into, if we have doesn't select any one of the record, it will going to show the error with the text as select a record to delete it. And then we will going, if we have doesn't have that, it will going to focus that, and then values tree item, current item as values of it, and then it will going to execute an SQL command as the delete from expense, where id of it will be fetched by focusing on it, and then it will be committed, and again the record will be display and message will be given, it has been done. And for the updating part, we have defined it the similar way, like we have defined the remove part, like you have to select that whichever you want to do it record, and okay, then we have defined the current item, it will going to focus with the current item, and then we have defined its value is equal to tree item dot item current item by its value, and then it will going to ask the new ask strings like amount that you wanted, and with the have string we have defined it in the like value we are asking. If you doesn't want to give it, then just click OK and go away or cancel it off. Okay, then it will going to ask all of these, and then we will going to execute the update command expenses set of that amount, category, description and date, and its id that will be fetched, okay, and then it will going to give it to that value, get it, uh, executed again and show the message. And for the pie chart, we have used in the basically the matplot library, which have the figure clear, ax figure at plot subplot by 111, and cursor execute at the select category some amount from expenses group by category, and it will going to fetch all of the data from there, and it will going to form the graph as the categories wise and amount in the zip data format, and then it will going to take the pie amounts and label as the categories, and then it will going to give the angles, start angle, and its title as the spending by category. And then we have go to its next part, which is the UI. For that, we have defined the hover effects for it as the enter, it will go into background to the little yellowish, and then for the leaf, it will going to get to background color, like right here you can see this color, okay. And we have selected the UI fonts and colors as this, and then we have defined its main window, okay. Then the root title as we have given the expense tracker, and the geometry as of it as 13,000 into 800, and then configure it by the background as white and resizable false, and header, then we have given it an header by the label root, and then the text as expense tracker, and font Arial and bold as this, with the color as green, dark green, and font as and with the padding y as 10, okay. And then we have defined it the main variables which will be used in that format as amount, category, description and date. Okay, so for that we have defined the some frames. Like here we have defined the frame root comma by the left frame background color, and then the place it on the x is equal to 0 comma by 50, rel width is equal to 0.3 and rel height as this, and at the right top frame of it we have defined the right top background, and it's relax as this, and y is equal to 50 and real height as the 0.5 and this, and for the bottom we have defined it like this. Okay, and then we have defined its the left frames as this. You can see right here amount, its color and white font that we have selected before I show you at this and this, and then we have given it to lower, and then for the category similar way we have changed the y index by 20 to 30 by 30 times each time. Okay, for category like this we have taken this the text amount variable and it's this, and then for the similar way like description and then the date, then you can just see how that is looking. Okay, and then we have given it the two buttons as this, which will going to execute the two commands as the adding record, which you have seen the command. It has the bg button color and font as the button font and width as 20, and then the command as 8 add record that we have defined on the function section. Okay, then it's placed at the below of all of these. Then by the 50 y gap we have defined it's the next percent, which is the clear fields. Then it has been background similar way like button and font on also, and with the clear fields command right here we have defined it on the left frame. Okay, then we have bind the button of them like entry or leave for the hover effects that we have discussed. Wait a second, like above. Okay, then we have go to our next frame, which was the right top frame, which was having the two buttons like adding of like the right top part as a delete and update records, which are the smaller than, and its position as this way in the x coordinate as 20 and 20y and 200x and 20y, and then again binded with the above conditions of the entry and leave. Then we have go to our record showing part, which was the main and demonstration how this was going to look, and we have defined it. Okay, so it is about to end, so let's just bind it up how this we have defined at the right bottom frame as given it an text as expense record, then the bg color of that place and font as Arial 14 and in the bold format, and packed it in the side top in the fill X. And then we have go to a tree formats. Okay, for that in the tree format you can easily convert that basic format of like tabular way in the various way, then so that you can see in a table in a clearer format in the Python GUIs. Columns as ID, amount, category, description and date, which are the main values of the database, and we have given it the headings as in the tree format of them also. Okay, and then we have defined the column width as this, and then we have given it the even at odd configuration, and then packed it in the left side both to expand, and we have given at last its scroll bar at the right bottom frame, which were the orientated in the vertical format for its main uses, and then we have given it the command Treeview y view, and then we have configured it y scroll and scroll bar set there, and scroll bar then packed it by the side right and comma by fill by y-axis, and then we have given it the main figure of which we have created before, like we have given the figure as size this 3.53 or dp 100, and canvas as figure canvas and its figure, and master of it as the left frame, and then its widget as this the widget, and place as we have placed it at the x coordinates as 10 and y coordinates as 420, and we have loaded it right, load the data of them at the end, and then we have end the code. Okay, so let's see how this code was really working in reality. Okay, so you can see how the UI is now looked, as it has been showing the title, expense tracker, amount filling, and the adding, and I have already added some records, so you can see how this was looking. Okay, and then let me add the main first function of the clear field, like it has been created, like I have this much amount, like something, for example we have taken, and then the category as master computer like stuff, something xyz, and then the date of like date I doesn't know what to give, then we will give this. Okay, and its record has been added. At hand you can see the master record has been also added in the graph. Okay, for that, and then if you want to delete any record, then I have going to select the one of the record like groceries, like you can see right here, and I will going to delete it, and it has been deleted and its graph, and also show the changes. And for changing, we will going to take the update records, and then it will going to update it, like I have doesn't want to change the price, then this. Okay, and transport, I also doesn't want to change it. Okay, I want to change the description of it. Okay, I have the motorbike, for example, and it was like in dollars, something like that, you can assume it, and then I have given it a date like 2025 07 by 12 10. Okay, and right here you can see how this was like here. So for that's it for today guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.